Now, the Portuguese Prime Minister Luis Montenegro has called the funicular derailment in Lisbon one of the biggest human tragedies in the country. The accident killed at least 16 people and has injured 21. Listen into what he said.
Ontem, Portugal foi abalado por terrível acidente com o descarrilamento do elevador da Glória no coração de Lisboa. Esta é uma das maiores tragédias humanas da nossa história recente. Portuguesas e portugueses, tendo sido uma prioridade imediata o socorro às vítimas, as autoridades competentes realizarão, com celeridade, as averiguações necessárias ao apuramento da causa deste acidente trágico, incluindo nessas averiguações a Polícia Judiciária, que está envolvida desde o primeiro momento, e o Gabinete de Prevenção e Investigação de Acidentes com Aeronaves e Acidentes Aéreos e Ferroviários. Também transmitir-vos que o Instituto de Registro e Notariado vai disponibilizar uma equipa em Lisboa para poder acelerar os registros de óbito e garantir atendimento prioritário.
Now, the yellow tram-like funicular, which is popular with tourists, careened down a steep hillside and crashed into a building. Footage showed mangled wreckage of the track just meters from another vehicle at the bottom of the hill. Authorities are investigating the cause of the derailment. Meanwhile, there are some reactions coming in from the locals who witnessed this tragic incident.
Eu faço essa caminhada todo dia. Hoje a Avenida da Liberdade não é mais a mesma. Está decretado luto nacional. É muito triste. As pessoas falam que é negligência, mas não é negligência. Eles têm um controle muito grande. Eu acho que foi um acidente, como que acontece de avião, acontece de carro, acontece tudo. Isso não é negligência, porque eles cuidam muito bem da manutenção. Eu vivo aqui há 20 e tal anos, eu vejo sempre a manutenção deles. Não foi... É um acidente. Foi um acidente.
Well, I believe, from what I've heard, it was coming down the hill. Something was wrong with the cable. It lost control, didn't have any braking ability. When it came around the corner, it crashed into the building. But I do believe the people at the bottom are very lucky, because I have seen videos online of them escaping on the bottom cabin. So the other one didn't hit the one at the bottom, which was actually very lucky in the end. But yeah, I think that's what happened.
Já não beneficia de certeza, quer dizer, ninguém ganha com isto, não é? Nem o turismo, nem nada, mas são acidentes que eventualmente poderiam ser evitados, mas a gente não sabe até que ponto poderiam ser evitados. Tem que ser descoberto, não é?
Shifting our focus to East Asia. Now, according to the Chinese state media, North Korean leader Kim Jong Un told Chinese President Xi Jinping that times may change, but the friendship between North Korea and China will remain the same. The meeting took place today at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing during Kim's rare foreign visit to attend the commemorations for the 80th anniversary of China's war of resistance against Japan. Chinese state broadcaster further stated the leaders discussed enhancing strategic cooperation, safeguarding peace and stability on the Korean Peninsula and supporting North Korea's development path. Xi Jinping emphasized that China's position on relations with North Korea will not change and both sides should protect common interests. Details of the talks have not been fully disclosed. Dr. Satoru Nagao is a fellow at the Hudson Institute, is joining me from Tokyo. Dr. Nagao, how do you view this one-on-one meeting that has been held between Xi Jinping and Kim Jong Un? And this is the first time in 6 years that Kim Jong Un has visited China. He has been there for the last 3 days, primarily at the invite of Xi Jinping to participate in the commemoration of the end of World War II. In fact, when Kim Jong Un, who has visited China in a bulletproof train, special train that has been built for the purpose of the North Korean leader's travels outside of the country, did for the first time meet Xi Jinping and Putin of Russia together. North Korea and China have close ties which were fostered especially after the Korean War in the 1950s. North Korea is amongst the most heavily sanctioned countries across the globe, along with Russia. All right, joining me on the telecast is Satoru Nagao. Satoru, how do you view this meeting that has happened between Kim Jong Un and Xi Jinping earlier today?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear. And of course, if you can hear me, I do want to understand from you what's your perspective on this significant meeting between the two leaders of North Korea and China.
Yes, that's very important. Indeed, in the okay, a little technical problem. Just give me the second.
While we try to fix that audio connection with Satoru, visuals on your screens of that high-level meeting that has happened between the two leaders. China has continued to be a strong ally and all-weather friend for North Korea. North Korea has seen a large number of sanctions imposed by United Nations, international organizations, Europe and United States of America. In fact, Donald Trump, during his first term as a president of America, had tried an attempt at rapprochement with North Korea, but those talks ended up getting dissolved. Satoru is on the telecast. Mr. Satoru, if you can hear me, and of course, do want to understand from you your perspective on this meeting that has been held earlier today between the two leaders, China and North Korea.
Yes, this is important because in the past, China side a little bit upset because North Korea support Russia and providing ammunition. And there's a possibility that providing ammunition means that in the East Asia, if the China invade Taiwan or China try to raise the tension in the, around Taiwan, in this case, North Korea cannot support China by raising the tension in the Korean Peninsula. So that's why if the North Korea provides a weapon and ammunition to Russia, this means that China faces a little bit disadvantage if they want to raise the tension. But now China's way of viewing towards Russia's invasion of Ukraine has completely different. Recently, the foreign minister of China visited Europe and clearly said if the U.S. focusing on Europe, U.S. cannot focusing on China. So that's why China thinks Russia's invasion in Ukraine is advantage for China. So that's why supporting the Russia's military operation in Ukraine is a good thing for China now, in the China's perception. And North Korea, what North Korea is doing is a good thing for China too. So that's why now the China and North Korea reconcile the relation and talk each other and plan something to continue the Russian invasion to Ukraine.
Yeah, and also how do you view yesterday the commemoration of the World War II, this massive military parade, a show of unity, a show of strength by Xi Jinping? There were about 26 nations that were participating, and key amongst them were the North Korean leader as well as President Putin of Russia. How do you view this coming together of these leaders, some of the most sanctioned countries of the world?
Yes, this is very important because the view from the rule-based order, the country who faces sanction should not show a strong presence in the international diplomatic stage. But China ignored it and gathered this country with more unsanctioned countries too. So that's why China clearly ignored the current rule-based order and accept countries who face sanctions and say that we are the one group. So that's why, and this is military parade, military purpose parade. So this is a very dangerous move and challenging move against the current rule-based order. But China think this is a new world order. Rule is set by them. So that is clear. China can say, this is a rule, not the current rule. Current rule is not good. New rule is new rule led by China is good. So and with North Korea, with Russia, with other participants, China say this is a new age. Something like that, I think.
All right. Thank you for sharing your views, Suduro, on the